Well, brothers and sisters, first off, peace be with you. As I mentioned at the beginning, my name is Father Adam Feisthamel. You're welcome to refer to me as Father Adam or Father Feisthamel, whichever is easier. I was recently ordained, so I'm pretty new. I've only been a priest for about 2 years now, but I was in formation for about 8 or 9 years until I got to the priesthood. So I'm new to the area. I've been here for approximately about 2 nights. Last night was my second night here, and it's been a pleasure to be here on this 250th anniversary of our country in these historic towns in such beautiful churches. But as Charles might have mentioned at some point, me and him went to seminary together for a few years. I kind of entered later than Charles. He's been a priest longer than me, but I was there for his last 2 years in priestly formation, so I've known him for a bit. And a few weeks ago, I came up here to visit, to kind of just, okay, so where am I going to be? The bishop told me to come out this way, so let me see what churches I'm going to be going to, where the rectory is, etc. And I, of course, went to St. Joseph's, and then I came here, and I mean, when I first walked in here, I was like, oh my gosh, Charles, this is like a cathedral. I mean, geez, this is huge. I don't know how I haven't been here before, but it's great to be here with you. It's good to be a part of this community, to serve you and to care for you in whatever way that I can. But without a doubt, being a new priest in the area, one of the biggest hurdles, well, there's 2 really big hurdles. One of them is getting to know everybody's name, and that's going to take forever. So bear with me on that. But the second one is really kind of getting to know the people, right? Like I as a priest, I don't want you just to be a name, right? I don't want you just to be a name. I want to know a little bit about you. I want to maybe know your story, because everyone in here has their own story. It's almost like each person, each soul is like a movie reel that starts from baptism all the way to their last days, and it's nice to be able to hear about a bit of that story. So consider this an open invitation to share your story with me, and an open invite to maybe if you wanted to meet up for a cup of coffee or tea. I'm very open to that. Feel free to call the secretary and just let her know, and she can arrange that. So yeah, open invitation. Please, I'd love to get to know you better. And speaking of invitations, in our gospel reading today, Jesus really gives us a powerful invitation, doesn't he? He gives us an invitation to come to him. He says, I quote, "Come to me, all you who labor and are burdened." Meaning, come to me, all you who work tirelessly. Come to me, all you who are fatigued and burdened with all kinds of things, not just work, but things that are going on in your life. He says, come to me, and I will give you rest. I will give you rest. He then says, take my yoke upon you. Take my yoke. It's referring to like what oxes used to have around their necks. He says, take my yoke. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me. For I am meek and humble of heart, and you will find rest for yourselves. Beautiful, beautiful quote from Scripture. But really what Jesus is saying here is, come to me, listen to me, learn from me, and you will find true peace. Not just a peace that is fleeting, not a satisfaction that is just fleeting, but a peace and rest that sticks around. Not an external one, but an internal one. A peace and rest that stays around. A lasting peace. And this is what we all really are truly longing for. We all advocate for peace in the world, right? We advocate for peace and justice. But in reality, what we're really looking for is a peace within ourselves, right? Where the world can be doing whatever it's doing. But as long as we have peace within ourselves, we'll be at rest, we'll be comforted. So Jesus also says, but in order to attain that peace, we need to become like the little ones. We need to become childlike in order to attain that peace. And Jesus refers to children quite a few times in the scriptures, and it, of course, makes you wonder, what are you talking about? What are you referring to? And when I read this, I was originally thinking about my niece and my two nephews. They're 9 and 10. And I had the privilege to, whenever I was back from seminary, I'd be able to visit them and teach them things, right? As you can imagine, I'm teaching them about the rosary, and I'm teaching about the tabernacle and the Eucharist and how Jesus is the Eucharist. And they were just so receptive, so receptive. You know, I quiz them. I'd be like, if you guys can get this answer right, I'll give you a piece of candy. And I mean, they were absorbing everything that I was saying. And I think that's what Jesus is pointing to. Jesus is saying the little ones. He says also in the scriptures, the wise and the learned, they don't get it. Those that are kind of considered to be wise, the Pharisees and the Sadducees back in the day, they're not following me. It's those that are open to receiving, to learning, and to listening. Those are the ones that are following me. Those that are receptive like children. They're open to learning new things. They're kind of like a blank slate. And that's not something that we just automatically can do. That's something that we just consistently work at throughout life, is learning new things. So that's what Jesus is saying. You have to be open. You have to be open to learning, and I will give you a peace and rest that the world cannot give, that you will not find anywhere else. And that's the message of today's gospel. That's the message that Jesus promises us. Merely be receptive. Merely be open. And I'm going to come back on that topic quite a bit, probably over the weeks that I'm here, is how to be open, how to be receptive. What are the key things that we should take in and adopt in our lives to establish peace in our hearts, to establish that rest that Jesus talks about? What can we do to get that going? So may God give us the grace today and always to have a heart open to learning, to have a heart open to listening. And may we always accept his invitation to come to him. God bless you.